Happy morning to one and all. Today we're going to discuss in topic essential elements of a valid contract. Let us go to the concept. According to section 10, all agreements are contract if they are made by the free consent of parties. Free consent means nothing but not forcible by anyone to competent to contract for a lawful consideration. So when the parties are making agreement, the consideration should be in a lawful manner and with a lawful object. The intention between the parties should create legal relationship between both the parties and are not expressly declared to be void. So the terms and conditions which are making the agreement should be clearly mentioned. So these are the elements of a valid contract. If anything was missed in this definition, it cannot be called as valid contract. It can be called as void contract or voidable contract. Let us move to the next concept, that is essentials of a valid contract. And these are the 10 elements of a valid contract. The first one is offer and acceptance. Second one, intention to create legal relationship. Third one, lawful consideration. Fourth one, capacity of parties. Fifth one, free consent. Sixth one, lawful object. Next one, legal formalities. Next one, certainty. Next one, possibility of performance. And last but not least, that is not expressly declared void. So these are the 10 elements of a valid contract. If any party was doing a contract, if the parties has missed these 10 points, it cannot be called as a valid contract in the enforceable by court of law. Let us discuss the topic of one by one. Today only the concept is about offer. So let us continue the topic, offer and acceptance. In a contract there must be at least two parties, one of them making the offer and the other accepting it. There must thus be an offer by one party and its acceptance by the other. The offer when accepted becomes agreement. Let us see an example. A says to B that he will sell his cycle to him for 2000 rupees. This is an offer. If B accepts this offer, there is an acceptance. Let us move the next slide. Offer or proposal. When one person signifies to another his willingness to do or abstain from doing anything with a view to obtain his assent on such act or abstinence, he is making proposal. For example, if A offer to marry B, that is called as offer, that is a proposal. Let's go to the next slide. By the understanding of the offer, we can see in a diagram representation, that is understanding offer can be classified in three ways. First one, it must be made by one person to another person. Second one, it must be an expression of readiness or willingness to do, that is a positive act, or to abstain from doing something, that is a negative act. Next one, it must be made with a view to obtain the consent of that other person to propose, act or abstain. So let us discuss nothing but positive or negative act is nothing but a person has B to kill person C. Is it legal or illegal? It is a negative act. It is also called as offer because he was offering that he will get so much money for you to kill the C. It is called as a negative act, right? Let's go to the next slide. In the offer there are two parties. One is called offerer and one other is offeree. Offerer means The person making the proposal is called offerer or proposer. Offeree means the person to whom the proposal is made is called the offeree or the proposee. Let's go to next concept. Types of offer. Offer classified into two types. The first one express offer, second one is implied offer. Again the express offer can be classified into two types. One is specific offer and next one is general offer. Let us discuss the topic. Express offer means an express offer is one which is made by words spoken or written. For example, X says to Y, will you purchase my car for rupees 1 lakh? This is called as express offer by orally. We can see an example. X advertise in a newspaper that I will pay 1000 rupees to anyone who traces my missing nephew. It is called as express offer because it is a written document. The next one is called as, in this specific express offer classified into two types. One is specific offer and general offer. Let us discuss about of specific offer. A specific offer is one which is made to definite person or particular group of persons. For example, X offers to buy car from Y for rupees 1 lakh. This offer is a specific offer which has been made to a definite person for Y. That is called as specific offer. Let us go for general offer. A general offer is one which is not made to a definite person but to the world at large or public in general. A general offer can be accepted by any person by fulfilling the terms of the offer. For example, X advertised in the newspaper that he would pay 5000 rupees to anyone who traces his missing boy. That is called as general offer. Let us go to the topic of implied offer. An implied offer is one which is made otherwise than in words. In other words, it is inferred from the conduct of the person or the circumstances of the particular case. For example, a transport company runs buses on different routes to carry passengers. This is an implied offer by the transport company to carry passengers for a certain fare. This is the topic of implied offer. Let us go to the next slide. And the coming the topic in this slide, we discuss about of legal rules as to offer. The first one is intention to create relationship. The second one is certain and ambiguous terms different from invitation of to offer, proper communication, no terms of non-compliance of which amount to be acceptance, communication of special terms different from mere declaration of an intention. These are the legal rules as to offer. Let us discuss one by one. The first one is intention to create relationship. An offer must intend to create legal relations. An offer must be such that when accepted it will create legal relationship among the parties. That is the first point, intention to create relationship. And the second one is certain and ambiguous terms. The terms of the offer must be certain and unambiguous and not vague. It is nothing but the certain and condition should be clear manner. If the terms of the offer are vague, no contract can be entered into because it is not clear as to what exactly the parties intended to do. Let me say the example that have the clear understanding what mean by certain and ambiguous terms. The example is X offers to sell Y 100 tons of oil, right? If X is a dealer in coconut oil and mustard oil, his offer is not certain because it is not clear that he wants to sell coconut oil or mustard oil. But if X is dealer in coconut oil only, it is clear that he wants to sell coconut oil. Hence, the offer is certain. Let us go to the next point, that is about of differentiation from an invitation offer. An offer must be distinguished from an invitation to offer. In case of an invitation offer, the person making an invitation invites others to make an offer to him. For example, a prospectus issued by a company for subscription of its shares and debentures is only an invitation to general public to make an offer to buy the shares or debentures, which may or may not be accepted by the company. That is called different from an invitation to offer. Next one is about of proper communication. An offer must be communicated to the person to whom it is made. An offer is complete only when it is communicated to the offeree. One can accept the offer only when he knows about it. Thus, an offer accepted without its knowledge does not confer any legal rights on the acceptor. So, they should have the proper communication between the offer and offeree. Let us go to the next concept, that is no term of non-compliance of which amounts to acceptance. The offer must not contain a term the non-compliance of which would amount to acceptance means, while taking the offer cannot say that if offer is not accepted before a certain date, it will be presumed to have been accepted. For example, X writes a letter to Y. I offer to sell my car for rupees 1 lakh. If I do not receive your reply by Friday next week, I shall assume that we have accepted the offer. Here, if Y does not reply, it does not mean that he has accepted the offer. That is the clear understanding what we mean by no term of non-compliance of which amount to acceptance. So, when person want to acceptance, he will mention some conditions. So, with that conditions only we should give the offeree should give the reply to the offer. That is the concept. Let us move to the next concept, that is about of communication of special terms. The special terms of the offer must also be communicated along with the offer. If the special terms of the offer are not communicated, the offeree will not be bound by these terms. For example, examples like insurance companies contract, or railways contracts, or shipping companies contracts, or banking companies contracts, hotel companies contracts. These are some of the special terms contracts comes into part of a legal rules as to offer. Let us go to the last concept, that is different from a merely declaration of an intention. The offer must be distinguished from a merely declaration of intention. Such statement or declaration merely indicates that an offer will be made or invited in future. For example, a father wrote his would-be son-in-law that his daughter would have a share of what he left after the death of his wife. It was held that letter was a mere statement of intention and not an offer. So clearly mentioned that intention is different and merely declaration intent. So for example, if you want to give something some other person, we should either you are giving as a mere declaration or your intention. This is a topic about of legal rules as to offer. Thank you.